Good evening. Motivation doesn't work unless your determination is up to the mark. Welcome to BMC News Live in English, brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. I am Vinod Narayanan, joining you with the daily news updates. Today's headlines.
Royal directives to speed up causeway construction hailed. Bahrain authorizes emergency use of Valneva's COVID-19 vaccine. Indian student fleeing from Kiev was shot. Saudi Arabia volunteers to be mediator for Ukraine crisis. Shaban crescent moon spotted in UAE.
News in detail. Royal directives to speed up causeway construction hailed. Transportation and Telecommunications Minister Kamal bin Ahmed Mohammed has lauded the directives of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, to speed up the implementation of the King Hamad Causeway project. He indicated that the causeway, which is the second of its kind between the two kingdoms and is part of the GCC rail network, will boost strategic, economic, logistical and commercial complementarity between the two countries, as well as achieve their economic and development visions. He said, the 25-kilometer causeway will include 4 lanes for vehicles and 2 rail tracks linking the King Hamad International Station to the Dammam International Station in Saudi Arabia. Bahrain authorizes emergency use of Valneva's COVID-19 vaccine. The National Health Regulatory Authority has approved the emergency use of the VLA2001 COVID-19 vaccine produced by the European vaccine company Valneva. The vaccine has been approved for ages 18 years and above, making it the 7th vaccine to be authorized for emergency use in the Kingdom of Bahrain as part of Bahrain's efforts to combat the COVID-19. The NHRA's approval is based on the authority's Clinical Research Committee and the Ministry of Health Vaccination Committee's in-depth study of all documents submitted by the company, which included the results of the immunology study. All documents related to the clinical study of the vaccine were reviewed and revealed positive results in preventing the virus. Bahrain achieves gender equality goals in World Bank report. Bahrain has been strengthening its commitment to advancing women's economic participation and gender equality, as indicated by the World Bank Group's Women, Business and the Law 2022 report, where the kingdom score improved by 73% from 2018 to 2022. Bahrain's overall score improved by 9.4 points to a score of 65 out of 100, attributable to Bahrain's gaining the perfect score of 100 in the pay indicator, which reflects robust legislation on gender equality in the labor market. Bahrain has also attained the perfect score of 100 in the entrepreneurship indicator, measuring equal treatment within the entrepreneurial landscape. Bahrain's support to Arab-African solidarity stressed. Shura Council Chairman Ali bin Saleh Al Saleh stressed Bahrain's support to the efforts made to boost cooperation and solidarity between the Arab and African countries to achieve common interests. He pointed out that strengthening the Arab and African cooperation and solidarity is a priority in Bahrain's foreign policy, which is based on moderate diplomacy that depends on the values of openness, tolerance, coexistence, constructive dialogue, and the promotion of peace. The Shura Council Chairman was speaking at the 11th Conference of the Association of Senates, Shura and Equivalent Councils in Africa and Arab World, which convened today in the Moroccan capital, Rabat, in the presence of speakers of Arab and African councils and parliaments. 10th Constituent Judicial Session for Military Prosecution Officers concluded. Defense Affairs Ministry's Under Secretary, Major General Sheikh Ahmed bin Mohammed Al Khalifa today attended the graduation ceremony of the 10th Constituent Judicial Session for Military Prosecution Officers, organized by the military judiciary at the Bahrain Defense Force. officers from the military, judicial and legal entities in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, in addition to a number of officers from the military and security entities in the Kingdom of Bahrain, participated in the session. The 10th Constituent Judicial Session for Military Prosecution Officers featured practical and theoretical training on judicial, investigative and military trial procedures, as well as lectures on international humanitarian law and human rights in cooperation with all legal and judicial authorities in the kingdom, in addition to field visits to a number of judicial and legal entities in the kingdom. Bahrain marks World Hearing Day 2022. The Kingdom of Bahrain has today marked the World Hearing Day 2022, annually observed on March 3rd. The international community has observed this year's edition under the theme "To Hear for Life, Listen for Care." The World Hearing Day aims to raise awareness on how to prevent deafness and hearing loss and promote ear and hearing care across the world. The key message of the annual observance day is that there are many common causes of hearing loss which can be prevented, including hearing loss caused by exposure to loud sounds at the workplace. It focuses attention on the importance of safe listening as a way to maintain good hearing throughout life and highlight that timely and effective intervention can ensure that people with hearing impairment are able to achieve their full potential. Today's COVID updates.
COVID updates brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers.
Indian student fleeing from Kiev was shot. An Indian student from Kiev was shot in Ukraine on Friday. The injured student had to be taken back midway. India's Minister of State for Civil Aviation, V.K. Singh, who is currently stationed in Poland, said, as war rages on in Ukraine, India on Thursday bolstered efforts to evacuate its citizens from the strife-torn country, with 4 Indian Air Force aircrafts bringing back 798 people, and Russia promising it will help Indians make a safe exit through its borders. India said it was primarily focusing on the evacuation of its nationals from the besieged city of Kharkiv and other conflict zones in eastern Ukraine amid increasing Russian military offensive in the region. India has been evacuating its citizens by special flights from Ukraine's western neighbors such as Romania, Hungary and Poland, as the Ukrainian airspace has been shut since February 24 when Putin ordered the launch of military operations in Ukraine. 4 Indian Union ministers are in countries neighboring Ukraine to facilitate the evacuation of Indian nationals. Hardeep Singh Puri is in Hungary, Jyotir Aditya Scindia in Romania, Kiran Rijiju in Slovakia and V.K. Singh in Poland. Ukraine and Russia end second round of peace talks in regret as reports dispute port cities fall. Ukraine says a second round of ceasefire talks with Russia has not yielded the results it hoped for, but the two sides have discussed humanitarian corridors and agreed to speak again. Both sides said they wanted a possible ceasefire for evacuating civilians through humanitarian corridors. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has said prior to the meeting on Thursday that Moscow was ready for talks to end the fighting in Ukraine, but would continue to press its effort to destroy Ukraine's military infrastructure. The second round of face-to-face discussions took place on the Belarus-Poland border after initial talks on Monday ended without agreement. Ukrainian Foreign Minister said while his country was ready for talks to resume, Russia's demands had not changed and would not accept any ultimatums. Russian officials said Moscow's demands included Ukraine's recognition of Russia's hold on Crimea, independence for the separatist-controlled areas of Donetsk and Luhansk, as well as demilitarization and denazification. Now we will be back after a very short break.
The 16th branch of Megamart and Macromart supermarkets in Bahrain has opened in Sahala. The best offers are available to the customers at affordable rates. Everyone is welcome. During and around the opening day, a variety of fish including salmon, meat and dairy products, roastery, frozen items, food and non-food items, groceries, fruits and vegetables, electronics, garments and ready-to-eat food items are available to the customers at affordable rates. Hearty welcome to all. Megamart and Macromart, your favorite shopping destination.
Welcome back. Saudi Arabia volunteers to be mediator for Ukraine crisis. Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman told Russia's President Vladimir Putin in a phone call on Thursday that the kingdom is ready to make efforts to mediate between all parties related to the Ukrainian crisis. The Crown Prince explained the kingdom's declared position and its support for efforts that lead to a political solution that leads to its end and achieves security and stability. Riyadh bans construction works at night. Riyadh has banned construction or demolition activities in the city from the Maghrib call for prayers until 7 a.m. Violators of the prohibition will be fined Saudi Riyal 10,000. The regulation aims to keep neighborhoods and residents free from disturbances. Shaban crescent moon spotted in UAE. The crescent moon, which signals the start of a Hijri calendar month of Shaban, has been spotted on Thursday, March 3rd. Therefore, Friday, March 4th will be Shaban 1st. Shaban is the month that precedes the holy month of Ramadan. Oman's Sultan directs free reduction of labor sector. His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq has directed the relevant authorities to reduce fees related to the labor sector. This announcement was made when the Sultan was presiding over the cabinet meeting on Thursday. Work timings for Ramadan month announced in UAE. Federal UAE government entities will remain open from 9 a.m. till 2:30 p.m. during the holy month of Ramadan, Monday to Thursday. On Fridays, they will remain open from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. It was announced on Thursday. Mosques host extended late evening and post-midnight prayers. European Union clears Moderna shot for young kids, Pfizer boosters. The European Medicines Agency said it has authorized Moderna's coronavirus vaccine for children aged 6 to 11, in addition to recommending booster shots of Pfizer's vaccine for those aged 12 and over, in decisions aimed at providing further protection against COVID-19 for children across Europe. The Moderna vaccine for younger children will be a half dose of what is given to older teens and adults. Research showed young children had an immune response comparable to that seen in older populations as measured by the level of neutralizing antibodies against the COVID-19 virus, Associated Press reported. The Moderna shot was also being recommended for use as a booster dose in people who had received other vaccines. With that, we come to the end of today's news. Stay tuned for daily news updates in BMC News Live English at 7:30 p.m. every day. I am Vinod Narayanan signing off from BMC News Live. Good night.